Hey, pussy, are you still there?
I actually admire that you can actually be this fake. And like when the TV comes on, how you can just change. You're the scum of the earth.
Don't doubt to me, I couldn't do it. The odds that I couldn't do it. Look at me now. Lebanon, half a pound. That's it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Over the Octagon with your host, Evan and Joel. And, man, we just got off a fire weekend of fights. The boys were at Cage Fury in Atlantic City, came immediately back home, and had one of our longest Fight Companion live streams to date for UFC 300. And if you're watching this and you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, like the video. Let's get into it, man. So we're going to recap on what we saw at UFC 300 Saturday. I think there's no argument that it is the greatest UFC card of all time to date.
Without a doubt.
From top to bottom, from 6 o'clock when the prelims started with Davis and Figueiredo and Cody Garbrandt. You know, the Bobby Green, Jim Miller fight was a fucking dog fight.
Dude.
Man, I mean, dude, Bobby Green looked good in that.
He looked very crisp, very clean. That's the best I've seen him look in 3 fights.
Yeah,
you know?
and I mean, it was against Jim Miller, right? So, like, I think I don't think, but still, I mean, he looked great.
But hell, let's be real here, though. How good does that make Jim Miller look? Because 2 fights ago, Bobby Green knocked out one of the top-ranking prospects in Grant Dawson. And then, you know, he gets knocked out on this canvas against Jalen Turner. And he comes out and puts on a fucking clinic against a UFC like veteran who's on a 2-fight killing spree, you know?
For sure. For sure.
I mean, shout out to Bobby fucking 300K Green. I wish he would have won a bonus for that, but unfortunately,
anybody that didn't stay up and we were going to, we kind of struggled, but I ended up watching it Saturday night, laying in bed.
I did too. I was so hyped I couldn't go to sleep.
I know, yeah. Dana White did make a mention on some, you know, a couple of the fighters from the prelims and stuff, and said, you know, we're going to make sure we take care of those guys. Everybody's going to leave here happy tonight. So I don't know what that means, but
I'm hoping everybody got a 50K bonus at least that didn't get a 300K bonus. That would make some sense.
Yeah, I mean, Diego Lopez
deserves a bonus.
He deserves something. Man, Diego Lopez fought on the prelims, beat Sadiq Youssef in the first round by TKO. He beat the brakes off that boy. Diego Lopez calls out Movsar Evloev afterwards.
As he should.
Who is, the number 1 contender in that division, or number 2?
2 or 3, yeah.
He's up there. And he deserves it, dude. So he came, for people that don't know much about Diego Lopez, I mean, you know, this podcast and Over the Octagon, we're super high on Diego Lopez, big fans of his. He made his UFC debut against Movsar Evloev, who at the time was a top 10 fighter, I believe, on super short notice. And lost a close decision that many argued he could have won.
Questionable, yep.
He's been on a killing spree since. Now fights UFC 300. TKO in round 1 against Sadiq Youssef, makes his call out. He wants that Movsar fight back. I want it for him.
Yep, and I think he gets it this time.
Oh yeah. Movsar's one of those boring wrestlers, dude.
Yep.
Diego Lopez is so good everywhere. His jiu-jitsu is incredible. His striking looks better.
I mean, he's making that division even scarier than it already is.
Right, which is your 135, 145?
Bantamweight, right?
No, that's 145. I think.
Not bantamweight. He's
Movsar Evloev 145 featherweight.
Featherweight, yeah, featherweight division.
Yeah.
So you have Diego Lopez, Movsar, you have Ilya, Max, you got, you know, all of these guys. Volk, yeah.
I mean,
killers in that division, dude.
Right. I know. It seems like, you know, you have so many of these people. Like sometimes, as crazy as it sounds, Volk's name is getting left out somehow. It's like, remember, dude, like he still is that motherfucker
forever.
Yeah. So, and then, you know, we saw the debut of Kayla Harrison, which, I mean, round 2. Who got the
4th bonus?
So, I guess I only heard of 3. It was just Yuri, Max, and Max.
Yuri, Max, and Justin. Because Gage, they got performance of the night.
They got fight of the night.
Yes,
right.
They both got $300K.
All right, okay. And then Max got 6.
And Max got an additional 300 for.
Well, that makes. I mean, in that sense, then I guess it makes Justin getting knocked out a little less painful. I mean,
I guess that's how it works, right? Because he said 4 bonuses, and the only one I heard of was Yuri. And
it was Max. It was really the Max fight and Yuri. So I know
can't
Max
believe Yuri got one. Like, that's wild. But Yuri put on a fucking clinic. He put on a show too.
Right. And I mean, you kind of get to that featured prelim with Yuri and Alexander Rakic. I mean, dude, Yuri's just such a wild card. And I was kind of talking shit, like, during our fight companion Saturday night, like, man, is he getting fraud checked right now? Like, it just
out of nowhere.
He was getting beat up, dude, and then all of a sudden, he gets the the knockout, the comeback TKO in the second round. And puts his name kind of right back up in the hat in the light heavyweight division.
Yeah, you got to see him and Jamal Hill. I mean, that's the fight to make, hands down. And then it has to be. I mean, obviously, we're just kind of jumping all over the place. So I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Talk about it is what it is. But obviously, main event: Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill. I mean, don't let. I said that. I even tweeted this. I was like, so many people are gonna let Max's knockout overshadow the fact that Alex Pereira literally got kicked in the dick, pushed Herb Dean to the side, and proceeded to knock out Jamal Hill 3 seconds after that.
It was so savage.
Such a savage move.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that doesn't get overlooked because of Max's knockout. Like,
it
that
definitely
was such a savage move.
It definitely did Saturday night.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it did. I noticed on all social media, like our Instagram included, Sunday. But then what I noticed a lot today as I was looking on Instagram and even TikTok, like as I was looking on our social medias and stuff today, I started seeing a lot more of those clips of Alex's knockout.
Yeah.
So I think the Max Holloway one was just so crazy that it was trending worldwide. Like Max Holloway was trending worldwide.
I've watched it 500 times probably.
Yeah. I know. And the clip you made from our companion is so cool. I love it. Obviously, I've had people calling me, like people I know personally calling me like, oh, I saw the clip of you. Man, that was crazy, wasn't it? I'm like, dude. I
had to hook you up with a dope clip. You do so much for us, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hook this dude up.
That was wild.
Clip, dog. So
I literally ran to the door, and it's funny too because like Joe Giannetti commented on it. Was like everybody was taking laps. He said, I think at his watch party he was doing like there's a clip of him running away. It was
I was
like
frozen, dude. I was like,
yeah,
like holy shit, did that really just fucking happen?
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
It was unbelievable. Just, I mean, and my older brother. I was in the store today. I had to buy a suit today. I'm going to a wedding this weekend, so I was in the store buying a suit and. My suit's a little small. It's been a while. I called my older brother to make sure, I'm like, damn, dude, suits are expensive, like how much you spend. Yeah. And, but anyway, we started talking about the fights and, we were talking about him pointing to the ground and so someone he knows had said to him, like, he didn't understand. He was like, well, I heard that he was like winning the whole fight and I didn't understand, like, why did he do that if he was winning the whole fight? And I was like, exactly. That right there is what makes it so badass. Yep. Because, after in the post-fight press conference, he said if the roles were reversed, Gaethje would have given him his 10 seconds.
Yep, 100%.
I agree. So it's just like, dude, Max, if Max's stock wasn't already through the roof, now it's on a different fucking planet.
Yeah, and I was a little bit pissed off at these people on like YouTube today commenting on the thing, like when we were saying like could have been the best knockout of all time, and everybody was like, oh, they were just throwing wildly. I'm like, you got to take all things considering the scenario when you discuss that fight.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, yeah, he knocked him out. It's like, you got to take everything into consideration. The fact that he was winning, the fact that he, pretty much was beating him the whole entire fight. Then he does the 20 seconds, like getting to the center, 10 seconds left to go. Famous Max fucking thing to one of the best strikers of all time.
Yeah.
And you fucking bang it out with one of the heaviest punchers. Max even said it. He said, dude, the wind was hurting me.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that. He was missing, but the wind was hurting me, brother. That's how hard he throws.
Like, you want to talk about someone who put on the definition of baddest motherfucker?
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's why that knockout is one of the best of all time, if not the best.
Absolutely.
Because everything it stood for, it reflected in that last 10 seconds. So
yeah, absolutely.
What anybody says, like, I get it. Aldo, like McGregor knocking Aldo out.
Sure, that was massive.
Leon knocking Kamaru out. Like,
I mean that
are great.
Yeah, that I will say. Like, I mean, if we try to remove like the recency bias, right? So, like, obviously, we just watched this Saturday night, so it's so fresh. Obviously, we're big fans of Leon's. Leon knocking out Kamaru after about to be losing that fight, and then that comeback knockout. I mean, that's pretty close. Like, if those two aren't kind of neck and neck, but just the whole, like, for the BMF, that many people kind of like talk shit on the BMF and it's stupid and whatever, and we've had that discussion on this show, right? Like, but then you get a fight like that, in my opinion, legitimizes that title.
Yeah, that's right there. That was the best BMF fight we've seen thus far. And that's coming off of the last BMF fight where Justin Gaethje head kicked Dustin Poirier and knocked him out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to go back to the McGregor-Aldo knockout, for example, too. So a lot of people will look at that and say that's one of the best knockouts of all time. Why? Because of all things considered leading up to that knockout, the press conferences, the build up to the fight, the face off, the McGregor effect.
Well, and that fight was supposed to happen prior, and Aldo got injured.
Exactly,
and that's Conor became the interim featherweight champion, and then we finally got McGregor Aldo, and I mean, and that was such an epic moment in the history of the UFC, and like, you don't have the Conor McGregor you have today without that moment. I mean, that moment, just really catapult, and then the double champ status, right? Like, so
it's great.
All of those things, made him into this global superstar.
You've never seen what Max did on Saturday, ever. You've never seen a guy winning a fight, get in the center, and let's do the man dance with one of the heaviest fucking punchers in that division.
Yeah.
And let's fucking bang this shit out for the BMF. Like, no one's ever done that before. That's what makes it the greatest knockout of all time, or the greatest performance of all time, greatest fight of all time. One of the best things I've ever seen. So
the only time we've ever seen that is from other Max Holloway fights.
Sure.
That's the only time we've ever seen people do that. The only person I've really ever seen do that.
Get in the center. Let's go. It's Max. You're right.
Yeah, it's him, and he's done it a few times. And to do it in that fight against that guy on that stage at that event, for that title, and then to cap it off, not with the bell ringing, with them both standing, to cap it off with 1 second left, and Gaethje's flat on his fucking face, and Gaethje was out unconscious for like 3 minutes.
I know.
Like, it wasn't even like he just got, it wasn't like he just dropped him. I mean, he smooth cock knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah, but see, that right there, though, remember what I said before, and I wanted to make it very apparent that this BMF fight, if Gaethje loses, was going to have big implications on that division. And guess what? He lost his title shot.
Yep. Well,
he not only lost his title shot, he lost it to the guy he just beat.
Yeah. Well, it seems
and then on top of that, he just got surpassed by another guy who just won that fight. So now he's not only lost his number 1 contender rank, now he's back to number 3.
Like 3. Well, and to be fair, I mean, Poirier Islam was seeming like that was going to happen at 155 pounds before UFC 300. Then you had Armin Sarukian beat Charles Oliveira. Apparently, they offered Armin the fight on June 1st. Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know, bro. That seemed kind of crazy. Like you're gonna offer him the fight. It's fucking what, a month away, month and a half. I mean, it's 6 weeks away. I don't know, bro. I don't. I mean, I wish. Obviously, like I'm not a huge fan of Armin's by any stretch, but there was. I can't blame him for not taking that. That seems crazy that they would even offer him that fight.
His career.
Yeah, against one of the scariest dudes in the UFC. The current pound for pound #1.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. That seemed a little ridiculous to even offer him that fight in the locker room after just going the distance with Charles Oliveira. I mean, I didn't like he ended it quick.
No.
So I don't know. I mean, but yeah, you're right. We said that when they announced the fight, like, man, this is going to kind of put Gaethje back, but, whatever. I mean, Gaethje's a fucking legend in his own right for stepping in and dancing like that.
Yeah. Is it crazy to say I don't think Poirier beats Islam? Like, I don't think he even is close.
No, that's definitely not crazy. It's definitely not crazy to say. I mean,
maybe 2 years ago.
Would it be fucking awesome? Yeah,
it'd be awesome. It'd be great. I just don't think Poirier's Poirier, like the old Poirier, like he used to be,
right?
And especially against a guy like Islam. But then again, Islam hasn't fought a guy like Dustin Poirier at his weight class.
Islam hasn't fought anybody at his weight class.
I know.
Islam's been fighting Volk for the last year.
Yep.
Well, now to be a year and a half. I mean,
and then Charles.
So it's like
that's it,
right? So like
Charles. So
yeah. So I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. But when did he fight Charles? That was in 2022, right?
Yeah, late 2022.
Right, and then Volk in the beginning of 2023 or March or whenever it was, and then Volk again at the end of 2023.
Yep.
Now you get Poirier in June. So I mean, yeah, my prediction would be Islam keeps that belt, but it's tough to say. I mean, and there was a lot of people that counted Max out, said Max didn't have a chance.
Yep.
I picked Gaethje to win that fight. I thought it'd be a dog fight, but I thought Gaethje would win. And I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. Max put on a complete fucking masterclass from start to finish.
And now the next fight for Max is likely Ilya, which he earned his title shot from winning that BMF.
Yep. And dude, you put up that tweet Saturday night.
Tell me you saw that comment.
No.
Oh, brother, the Georgians came at me again.
Did they? Okay.
Yep. I was like, oh, I hope Murky sees this.
I didn't see it. I didn't. I'll have to look.
Fans he's got.
Well, yeah, so that tweet was fantastic. And anybody that follows us on Twitter that listens, you need to go back and find the tweet Joel put up Saturday night. It's a picture of Ilya. I don't want to spoil the caption. The caption's what makes it such a fantastic tweet. I feel like it didn't get as much love as it should have gotten.
I agree.
Just absolutely incredible. But, I mean, yeah, that's the fight. That's the fucking fight, man. Ilya's still a scary motherfucker, regardless of what his face looked like Saturday night. And, I mean, Max looks like he is in his fucking prime. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen Max look this good.
Are you ready for the reply?
Yeah, what's the reply?
What nonsense. I'm sure you said that when Ilya met with Volk too, but suddenly the lights went out in Australia, and soon the lights will go out in Hawaii, it seems.
Okay.
Get out of here. And then you click on his page, and it's like Marab and Ilya getting butt fucked.
Okay, so, well, let's preface that by saying Twitter's an absolutely horrible place. We know that. UFC and MMA Twitter is an absolute in shambles constantly. But yeah, okay, that's not like as crazy as I thought. But yeah, I mean, it was right. There was a lot of people saying that about the Volk fight.
Yep.
And he did exactly what he said he was going to do.
Sure.
And then but this makes it way more exciting.
I agree.
For Max to come in, and as good of a boxer as Max is, styles make matchups, or matchups make the best fights. And, it makes for an interesting matchup against Ilia Topuria at 145 pounds, and
Sure.
can't wait for that. But I mean,
guess we need to get off topic of that because we've been on.
Like let's get back to 300 a little bit. So I mean, we've touched on most things, and even in that, we touched on Armin, we talked on Max, Bo Nickel. Let's talk about Bo Nickel for a minute. So Bo Nickel finally gets a fight that goes longer than a minute and a half, and actually gets out of the first round.
Yeah, I called.
Yep. Yeah, you did. You had the over round and a half on that. It was a good call. He submits Cody Brundage by rear naked choke in the second round. I don't know. I mean, dude,
I'll be my best GSP right now. I am not impressed by your performance.
Yeah, by Bo's performance.
I wasn't impressed, man. Yeah. He showed that he is the wrestler that he is.
Right.
But
yeah, his wrestling's disgusting.
He also exposed a big flaw in his game of just being completely reckless to get takedowns. Because he's one technical striker away from getting fucking Sean O'Malley aljoed. Like he's just like it's gonna happen.
And we've still the question mark really is because we've never really seen his chin tested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Someone good out there.
Yeah, we don't really know. We don't really know, right? Like, I don't know. We don't know how much of a punch he can take.
He doesn't look like he can take a good punch. I'm just going to keep it real.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Is it just me, or does he kind of just, I mean, I know what kind of wrestler he is, but he doesn't look like he has like a strong face. I don't know, man. Like, he just looks like he has a punchable, like, soft face.
Punchable face.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I could be tripping, and I love Bo, so don't take this twisted. Because if anybody's the biggest Bo fan in this podcast, it's me, because I've been following him throughout his whole career. But
I mean, listen, we love Bo Nickel. The only thing I'll say is like I don't want to. I mean, he got the win. He still got the win by finish.
Sure.
Against a guy that has 15 professional fights, he has fucking 5.
Yeah. That's true.
I think the hype surrounding him is just so massive.
Yeah.
That like you almost, and he's done it in every fight, you almost expect him to just dominate everybody. And it's like, dude, in a sense, if it was anybody else except for Bo Nickel, we'd be talking about how good that fight was, how dominant he was, and he got to finish in the second round. I mean, he really was never in trouble.
Sure.
Right? I mean, he out-wrestled a wrestler. He finally got a matchup in the UFC and in mixed martial arts he's never seen before. He showed his wrestling is obviously world-class, which we knew, but now we saw it against somebody with a similar style.
Sure.
So, I don't know. I mean, I think the hype just – maybe this makes the hype settle down just a little bit and let him, fuck it, dude. Let him give him a top 15, but give him like a 185 so that, you give him somebody in the 12 to 15 range possibly. Sure. And then, he needs to stay active and stay training, which I know he is. So he's going to continue to get better. I think he needs to relax a little bit. I think the hype has grown so massive surrounding him that even himself with the second round finish is mad and disappointed that he doesn't just go in there and beat everybody in fucking a minute.
Sure.
I mean, it's just not realistic. It's not. So, but yeah, I mean, Max Zhang Wei Li, the T-shirt effect. Let's speak on the T-shirt effect real quick.
T-shirt effect was real that last night or Saturday night.
So Saturday night, you had on a Zhang Wei Li T-shirt.
Yep.
I had on my blessed Max Holloway T-shirt. They fought back to back. Obviously, we already talked about the BMF in depth. Max gets his win. Then you get Zhang Wei Li beats Yan by decision. It looks like 4 rounds to 1, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely was. I mean, remember the first round. She
choked her unconscious.
She was unconscious, dude, at the bell. And then she kind of just flicked her off of her. And then she woke up from being unconscious. And they had to, like, get her back in there. And then she ended up going a full fucking 5 rounds, which is mind-blowing that she even did that.
I know. Jan is good, dude.
She is good.
Yeah, Jan's a really good striker. Zhang Wei Li's just such a fucking beast.
Yep, because there was times where she was getting beat up too.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Jan definitely held her own. The scorecards don't necessarily suggest that, but Jan definitely held her own, man. And
I agree.
Just, but shout out to Zhang Wei Li. I don't know what she needs to do now, man. It's tough. She's getting to that point to where like she's beating everybody,
She'll probably fight one or two more times and maybe double champ status, try to go for double champ or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe she'll try to go for it next. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be mad at that either,
So, man, who knows?
We'll see.
Kayla Harrison too, speaking of women, she's definitely going to be the champ.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Raquel Pennington sucks.
She's going to maul Raquel Pennington, dude. Maul her.
So I don't know if you saw this, but she was just talking about this on a podcast either that came today or Sunday, whenever it was. But apparently Raquel Pennington is hurt.
Oh, go figure. Yeah, and doesn't want to fight for like a year.
No doubt. So, she basically
interim
said,
fucking women's belt.
She basically said, Kayla Harrison said, give me whoever, whenever, June 29th. She wants to fight on the McGregor-Chandler card. Give me whoever for the belt. If it's not Raquel, whatever, whoever it is, make it an interim belt. I don't even care.
Juliana Pena.
She dogs her, too. I mean,
bring back Amanda Nunes.
Well, so it sounds like if it was up to Kayla Harrison, because, Amanda Nunes put out her Instagram video after that, and I think it looks like, Kayla Harrison wants the belt and then wants to try to get Amanda Nunes to come out of retirement.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that would be awesome, and I think Nunes would do it because, like, how sick would that be? Even if Amanda Nunes' legacy couldn't get any bigger,
true,
right? Like, I mean, if she were to come out of retirement and then beat Kayla Harrison and win the women's bantamweight title again, I mean, she's already the consensus greatest of all time.
Yep.
But that would just be otherworldly. And, but yeah, man, I mean, she looked great. She made quick, easy work of Holly Holm. Yeah, let her fight for the title. Holly Holm was 5th.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have Steve Urseg, who's 10th, fighting for a title. So, fuck it. Let Kayla Harrison fight for the title. Bantamweight division sucks anyway, so we need somebody to come in there and shake things up. She's the one to do it.
Absolutely. But you got anything else? Actually, worst fight of the night, in your opinion?
Worst fight of the night.
Yep.
Easy money. Aljamain, Calvin Kattar.
Okay, I figured so. I was thinking.
Yeah, easy money. I mean, God, dude, I'm trying so hard to like Aljo. I'm trying so hard. I'm genuinely trying. And he's like, he moved up a weight class. He did what he had to do to just get a win in the weight class.
Yeah.
I get that. I almost respect that. But I'll just say from a fan's perspective, not a fighter's perspective, from a fan, I understand it from his perspective in the fight. I get it. And I agree with his thought process. But from a fan's perspective, it's the biggest event of all time.
Got to do what you got to do.
We're not going out at the biggest event of all time just to get the win, right?
Yep.
I mean, like, that to me, it was just underwhelming. I mean, yep. and when you look at every other fight, Davison Cody, Bobby Green, Jim Miller, even Andrade Marina Rodriguez, that was a good fight.
Yeah, it was.
Moicano, Jalen Turner, Diego Lopez, Kayla Harrison, Yuri, Bo Nickel, Armin Charles, Max, Zhang, Alex Pereira. I mean, how many finishes? Almost every one got finished. We had 1, 2, 3 if you count his fight, and then 4 with the Charles fight. 4 decisions on the entire thing.
4 of 12, no.
I mean, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
8 of 12 were finishes. You know, but even like Bobby Green, Jim Miller was a decision. But like, goddamn, if that wasn't an exciting fight.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Armin Charles was a decision.
But damn it.
But it wasn't the same.
Yep.
Right? So you had Aljo, Calvin Kattar. Aljo did what he had to do to get the win. I just wish that for it being as big of an event as it was, you know, you try to show a little bit of something extra. But
I agree.
I'm trying my hardest, bro, to be an Aljo fan.
But yeah, I mean, outside of UFC 300, we stayed up late as fuck, and then it was probably worth it in the eyes of the fans because we got the announcement that everyone has been waiting for. It's official. The return of the Mac. He's back. Right. June 29th, International Fight Week. Michael Chandler.
Yep.
Be ready for record-breaking sales. It's going to be electric. It's the return of Conor McGregor. I mean, this is the moment everyone's been waiting for 3 years now, 2 years now. You know, like him coming back. I'm ready. I mean, whatever. I want to see what he's got, dude. If he comes back and puts on the most, like, does exactly what we just saw at 300 and gets a massive win over Michael Chandler, what's left?
Right.
Like, why even take this fight? I'm still confused on why he's even fighting. He has no reason to.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
but I love it because as a fan, obviously, you know, anybody that doesn't like Conor McGregor, you're just, you know, I get it because you're probably a bitch, but I mean, dude, he's easily hands down the most influential fighter of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. He literally changed the UFC forever. Like the McGregor effect is real.
For sure.
So having him coming back on such an all-time year is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And it's going to be on International Fight Week and all that shit. So
June 29th, 170 pounds. So it's not at 185 like he was saying it was going to be, you know, on the Ultimate Fighter and all that cute shit he was doing with Chandler. But we also got another fight announcement June 1st. You had Islam Dustin, which we talked about.
Yeah.
But the co-main event
crazy
in Newark, New Jersey on June 1st is Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa.
Yep. We'll see if that actually happens.
I hope it does.
I have a weird feeling that fight's going to get canceled, but
I am so excited for that. I love that match.
You're not going to go to that. Newark's not far from you.
So it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine. I know he catches some of these, but if he's listening to this one, we were speaking on the phone today. His wedding is June 1st in Virginia. So I will be in Virginia June 1st. At the O'Brien wedding.
Damn.
Because he said
just fucking up everything this year. Your wedding, his wedding, everybody's damn wedding, just fucking up the fights, man.
Yeah, he said to me, he said to somebody, he said to me on the phone, he was like, dude, if I wasn't getting married that day, like I would go. You should fucking be there. And I was like, well, I'm gonna be at your wedding. And he was like, oh, fuck, yeah, that's right. And that was like the second time because I guess he had spoke to somebody else and said the same thing. So, yeah, Newark, New Jersey, it's not that far from me. I would love to go, but unfortunately I will be in Virginia that weekend. But, yeah, I mean, that card's awesome too, man. Islam Dustin for the title, for the lightweight title, and then your co-main, you know, hopefully as everything sticks, it gets Paulo Costa, Sean Strickland, 185 again. We get to see Sean Strickland back.
But you just know that the other three fights in the main card are going to be ass. You think? Just know it, dude. Yeah, bro. Dude, it's the pay-per-view before the return of McGregor. They're going to save everybody and stack 303 like heavy, bro.
I don't know that you need to stack 303. It's got McGregor on it. You don't need to stack 303.
That's true.
Right? Like, McGregor sells the pay-per-view by himself.
I did see another fight that got released today. Tim Elliott versus Takasori Tomi I can't say his name. I don't remember how to say his name.
The blonde hair Japanese guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takasori Tori.
Yeah.
I forgot how to say his name, but yeah. So I saw that fight get announced, and it's gonna be at the fucking Apex, dude.
Well, we're still getting Apex events.
May 18th.
Okay. Still getting Apex events, unfortunately.
Tatsuri Tara.
That's how it is. We're still getting Apex events, sadly, but that means we're getting more fights and more fights and more fights and more fights and more fights. That I'm a fan of.
They are giving us some decent fight nights coming up. I mean, we got Chimaev and Whitaker as the main event.
That's in September. Yep.
For a fight night.
The next couple weeks are rough.
Yeah, they're rough.
The next couple weeks are rough. It's going to be rough for MMA content, for podcasts like ourselves.
I need it.
Yeah, we need to take a little. We need to get a little regain on our mentals and physicals here anyway. Yeah, we have been.
If you've
grinding.
been listening to us recently, we've been grinding. We deserve a break, and I'm so happy that our break is coming this week with no fights. And because we already have plenty of interviews lined up that are already scheduled, if not already recorded, that we got to drop. But bro, the next fight is Matthew Nikolai versus Alex Perez as a main event of a fight night.
Right,
dude, and it better not be at 10 fucking o'clock either. Okay, it's at 7 o'clock. Thank God. Because, dude, I'm not staying up till no damn 1 in the morning watching that damn Alex Perez, Matthew Nikolai. I'll watch that shit the next day.
Yeah, so
I'm a fan. I love it, but dog.
Anybody that's still listening to this point, thank you if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anything like that. Make sure you turn on automatic downloads, rate the show 5 stars, leave a review. You can do that on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. You can do it anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. And, with that being said, the way Joel just kind of lined out the upcoming fighting events from the UFC, we have PFL events also, all these kinds of different things that'll be happening. But I think my personal belief, and I'm sure you're in agreement with this, our upcoming content for the next few weeks will probably be mainly focused on fighter interviews and things that we already have done and in the pipeline, and then things that are kind of coming up. Which is our favorite stuff to do anyway. And that'll kind of ride us through this low spot of UFC events. And then, before we know it, it'll be May and we'll have Pantoja, Urseg. Then we'll be in June and we have everything we just talked about. I mean, that's the greatest thing about this sport, dude. It's all year round. When you talk about downtime in MMA and UFC, it's like 3 weeks. It's not 6 months until you get, man, football's back. It's like, nah, dude, we've been doing this all year, every Saturday, all year round.
You want to know something really crazy, bro?
Yep.
So this is how bad all other organizations are, because I want to ask you, do you know what else other fights there are this week?
No. This weekend?
This week. Yeah, weekend, week.
Yeah. Upcoming or what just happened?
Upcoming.
No, don't even know.
All right, so obviously we have PFL.
Friday
night.
Yep.
So Thursday night, we have the Bellator Championship Series. Main event, Usman Nurmagomedov versus Alexander Shabli.
That's Thursday night?
Co-main event, Patchy Mix versus Magomedov.
What the fuck? That's actually good. What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how bad other organizations are at promoting their own shit. The co-main and the main event are, Patchy Mix is arguably one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Why is this not being talked about?
Yeah, the Nurmagomedov is a champ and he's undefeated.
And it starts at 3 p.m. on a Thursday.
What a joke.
Aspen Lads fighting on this card.
PFL-ator, as Dana called it.
PFL-ator. I love that.
PFL-ator. Yeah, PFL-ator. He said PFL-ator can put an event in a fucking parking lot.
And people still wouldn't show up.
Yeah, well, they were talking about doing an event in Hawaii, and the guy was like, "Well, PFL did an event in Hawaii," and he was like, "PFL Tour can do a fucking event in the parking lot."
He's not
Like
wrong.
they don't need they don't need the T-Mobile Arena. They don't need fucking
He's not wrong, dude. But yeah, Murky, that's it, man. That's all I
Yeah.
got. It's been a draining weekend. We've been
absolutely
grinding,
insane.
bro. It's so we appreciate everyone who listens to the content because I can promise you it comes with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears behind the scenes, especially for guys like us. So
Yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's been a phenomenal weekend coming off UFC 300. We're going to keep this shit hot. Like I said earlier, turn on the automatic downloads. If you're listening to this on an audio, Spotify or Apple Podcasts, YouTube, subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, tell your aunties, your ex-girlfriends, your mother-in-laws, tell everybody.
And Jalen Turner, next time you knock someone out, finish the fucking fight, you idiot.
Yeah,
Sorry, I love you,
I know.
come on, bro. Come on, bro.
I know.
I didn't even want to bring it up, but I had to just let him know, bro.
Yeah.
Finish the fucking fight.
Jalen Turner, still love you, bro.
We still love you, but dude, finish the fight.
All right, let's get out of here.
I'm done, brother.
Peace.